My entire body was melting to the shoes when I saw my jobless wife's chat with AP. She begs me to stay cause what she did was to make our bed life better. Hello there, I've lurked for a long time, but decided to come out with my story of how my ex-wife cheated on me. Heads up, this is almost a novel. I dated this girl for almost 6 years, since we were both 18. I moved from my minimum wage pizza job to a parts counter at a dealership making well over $50,000 a year. I bought my first house, all while we were together. I paid for the wedding out of my pocket, and bought and flipped cars to afford it for 2 years. All throughout, she kept neglecting herself more and more each day. Well, we married in November of 2017 and all was good, almost like a fairy tale. But it lasted 2 weeks. That was when she really started to change. She suddenly told me that she wanted to be able to mess around with other women, that she wanted a Thru, etc., etc., etc. I tried my best to comply with her wishes, but her infidelity caught up with her first. The first time I caught her, she was almost proud to tell me that she was sexting a man from West Virginia in order to make herself horny so that we could have better sex. I lost my crap, screamed and yelled at her as to why she could do this to me. Mind you, I'm only a month into marriage at this point. Then, we went to counseling and therapy where the therapist told me that I needed to pay more attention to her, kinda hard when you're working 60+ hours a week because she doesn't want to work. After months of trying to trust her again, I urged her to take the trip to Florida that she had been hounding me about for weeks. She insisted on going alone for a week to stay with her grandmother. I had huge red flags at this point, but stuffed them down out of sight with the thought process of I'm not going to be able to trust her again unless I give her space to show me I can. This will end up being a huge mistake. Sorry guys, trying to shorten this as best as I can so it's not a novel. Anyway, she comes back from Florida and we prepare to take our honeymoon to Hawaii. After she returns from Florida, she's become very attached to her phone to the point that I'm getting very worried again. She's laughing and giggling on her phone all the time, takes it everywhere, lays it face down, etc. At this point we haven't had sex in almost 3 months. It's April. We go on the honeymoon, and it mainly consists of her laying in the condo room for a week on her phone, while I drive around Maui in a rented Mustang GT convertible. I had a blast, still no sex. Fast forward to May 18, 2018. I'm laying in bed with her reading a book, and I happen to shift and see the purple devil emoji on her chat screen on her phone. Something is not right, there's only one time you use that emoji. I lay back down and just try to shake it off, trusting her, but in about 6 seconds I have oh no. I pop up and say, "What was that chat, honey?" She shows me a different screen, and I grab her phone and pop back to the other chat. What I saw was my entire body melting out through my toes. She was sexting and video chatting and talking with this man about some of the kinkiest shit I have ever seen. She talked down on me to him, told him I was emotionally misusable, told him she was ready to leave me, and missed the time she spent with him in Florida. I was broken, devastated, destroyed. She shrugged it off, rolled over, and went to sleep. The next morning she woke up, and went out with friends for a while. I was mentally in the worst position I could be in, and I couldn't take it anymore. I shouldn't have been alone. I started massaging my friends, my closest family that I loved and trusted, and telling them how much they meant to me, and that I really appreciated their love and friendship. One of my best buddies thankfully recognized the signs, and called me nonstop over and over until I answered. His words? "Don't ducking do anything stupid. I'm on my way to your house, and you had better be okay when I get there." That friend saved my life that day by recognizing the signs and knowing why I was saying goodbye. He left his $80,000 a year job in rush hour traffic in Atlanta to drive an hour to my house to make sure I was okay. I honestly cannot ask for a better friendship. I gave him all of my guns that day and had him hold on to them until I wasn't a threat to myself anymore. Fast forward again. It's June 2018. I am back in counseling and therapy with my ex-wife, and nothing is really changing my mood about this situation. I go to work every day, come home, clean, and go to bed. After talking to many trusted family members and spilling my guts to them, I decided I was faced with only one option. I had to divorce her. I talked to a few lawyers, listened to their advice, and made my plan. July 18, 2018, I told my ex-wife that when I got home we needed to talk about something, which she didn't seem to mind. I had been letting her think that I had forgiven her at this point. I got home, asked her to come to the basement before she started dinner. She sat down, I sat down and said this isn't working, and your cheating is something I can't deal with. I'm filing for divorce, that's final and nothing can change my mind. You can stay at the house until you find somewhere to go, but the house was mine premarital, and I'm keeping it. That night turned into a nightmare, and she ended up leaving with a friend. The next few months were followed by getting texts from people I knew of screenshots of her Tinder, Bumble, and FetLife accounts, how many people she had ducked, etc. She would text me and beg me to take her back and she would be the best wife ever, she would beg and plead and cry. She broke into my house and faked a Zooic *I'd attempt by taking 5 ibuprofen 200 milligrams. She ducked my best friend's groomsman, I was best man. We were officially divorced a year and a day after we married, and I gave her a very nice settlement agreement out of the goodness of my heart which she ended up ducking me with. I paid her insurance, gave her my brand new car to drive, which she wrecked, and phone bill. I gave her 90 days after the divorce to get financing on the car and get it out of my name. She ran up her credit cards and failed to do so. She also told joint friends that she was going to trash my car before I got it back, because she knew she couldn't keep it. So I offered her a free paid-off car, rigorously maintained in exchange for the new car back so I could sell it. She declined my offer and on January 4, 2019, I ended up repossessing the car from Tampa, Florida. In the middle of the night 30 days shy of 90 days. Multiple lawyers and months later, I paid her a little shy of $4,000 that I seriously struggled to get for her troubles to get her out of my life completely. I left out a few details, but I'm already at 2 pages on this and seriously doubt anyone has gotten this far in the story of my mistake of a marriage. On a good note, I have met the most wonderful woman in the world who means absolutely everything to me. She's funny, beautiful, smart, loves sex, and pays attention to all of the little things in life and in a relationship. I would not trade her for anything in this world. I guess some good comes from all the bullshit in life. I still can't believe that she has put up with all of the ex-drama throughout most of it, and she's a ducking trooper for that. We have reached the end of the story. Let's listen to some of the comments by our Reddit listeners. Comment 1. Damn bro, sorry to hear you were married to a freaking sociopath. Just remember not to be blindsided again. I know this new relationship seems perfect right now, and for your sake I really truly hope it is everything you dream it will be. But please keep the blinders off this time. Have trust and openness in this new relationship, but educate yourself on warning signs and red flags and stay vigilant too. Best of luck. Comment 2. Reading through everything. I can honestly say that you deserve to be treated above and beyond what you have experienced. You deserve all your friends and family to cherish you. She is what people nowadays would call a trash girl, because she's something that needed to be disposed of a lot sooner before she started to rot even more. She did not even deserve the nice settlement agreement. Shameless now ex-GF blew up when her own son told me exposed her affair after she told me she needs to visit her family. I met my ex-GF 26F when I was the best man at my buddy's wedding. She is his wife's sister. I 30M fell for her almost instantly. We began talking and became best of friends. Over the period of 2.5 years I asked her to be my GF a few times and finally 1.5 years ago she decided it was the right decision. Mid-February we quit having sex altogether and slowly the cuddling and touchy-feely diminished. I asked what was wrong but she never really had an answer. She quit pursuing me and in return I quit pursuing her. Here I should mention she has a 4.5 years old son. Fathers are not in the picture and I'm all he's ever known as a father figure. She was enrolled in school and worked full-time. I would get up with the son, feed him, dress him, take him to daycare, pick him up, feed him dinner, bathe him, and put him to bed Monday through Thursday while she was at school. I do think she quit going to school to have nights out Monday through Thursday, because the math class she was in, intermediate algebra, she got a 36% in. You have to try to do that poorly. Beginning of May everything started falling apart. We went to Great Wolf Lodge, about 3.5 hours away, and she was on her phone nonstop. She would randomly disappear and be gone for 45 minutes at a time. We got back on Mother's Day and she said she had some errands to run and took the boy along with her. That next morning he wakes me up saying Mommy and him went and had ice cream and met Mommy's friend. He was funny and had a big truck. I asked my GF about it and she blew it off like it was one of her friend's boyfriends. This is when I went on high alert. A week later she tried breaking up with me under the guise that her feelings changed. I fought back saying this was just a low, and we can work through it. She reluctantly agreed. A few days later she says she needs to run to the store and won't be gone long. 1.5 hours into her store run she sends me a text grabbing drinks. I said hell no and come home. She changed 3 times and did her makeup and hair before leaving. For a quick run to Target. It took her another almost 2 hours to get home after I said come home. She said she was out with her friend Christy, but I didn't believe it. All of a sudden she has all of these friends I've never met or heard of. I told her prove it by opening your phone, and she absolutely refused to. This is when we broke up. That was a Friday night. I stayed at the house one more night and left Sunday morning. As I returned to the house during the following week while she's at work to pack my things, I snoop on her computer and discover she is in fact seeing another man, and not only that, but he's married. I find out who his wife is. She a hairdresser, and I have her cut my hair. After he's finished I spilled the beans. It made sense to his wife as well. She said he's been gone since Wednesday. I moved out on Sunday, and she moved a married man in that following Wednesday. His wife does go on to tell me he's an misusable alcoholic with a pill problem. I told my ex this, and she just told me his wife is crazy, and that I'm being an obsessive ex. The wife sent me pics of it all, and she still doesn't believe it. So that's how I got to where I am right now. Living in my buddy's basement trying to get back on my feet, while some married man moved right into my house, and doesn't seem like things skipped a beat. I do miss her and her son a lot, but I've made a promise to myself to not reach out to her, or have any contact no matter how hard it is. I just don't know how you can treat someone that poorly, especially after all I did for her and her kid, not that I didn't want to do it for them. Right now I'm really just lost on how to move forward. I want to see my son, but the reality of that is very slim. We have reached the end of the story. Let's listen to some of the comments by our Reddit listeners. Comment 1. Tell your buddy to get ready for the storm that's coming and to keep an eye out on his nephew if the guy is that bad, because it sounds like that family is about to have all kinds of drama happening if what the wife says is true. Also, tell him what happened and cut your losses. There's nothing you can do for the kid but let the family know. OP reply. Oh, my buddy knows. He helped me move out. Him and his wife have disowned my ex. My ex thinks she's done nothing wrong. She tired telling some really PG-rated version of the story. Everyone in her family knows what really happened, and now she and the married man have everyone to prove wrong, so I'm sure they are going to try and make it work. Every relationship my ex was in before was misusable. I think she seeks the out. Comment 2. Good for you. Is it your house? If so, kick them out. OP reply. We were renting. Lease was up June 1st. One of my biggest regrets was leaving instead of kicking her butt out. Her married man went month to month with the landlord. I'm pretty sure she was waiting until the lease was up. It was in her plans if I had to guess. She got sloppy and quit even trying to hide it. What made me the most mad was this guy moved in before I even started moving my out. Just really grossed me out. Comment 3. You're doing the right thing. Despite how much it's hurting, no contact is best. Expect her to reach out when the pill misuser gets bad and swear she will never hurt you again. Ignore her when she does this. Actually, just block her number now and move on. She doesn't deserve you. Hang in there, buddy, it's gonna get better. OP reply. I've got her blocked in every form except text. I should block that too, but I'm keeping that open hoping she offers me to see her son. I don't even care if she's out with another dude while her sons are with me. I have a father-son bond with this boy, and I'd really like to maintain it. That being said, I know it's unrealistic that this will happen, and I should block her 100%. She had just moved to my town and was living with her sister and brother-in-law. She said she wanted to get a job, find a place of her own, and get started in school before starting a relationship. And by that it was more of making it an official relationship. She and I talked every day, sometimes all day. When we talked about breaking up, I asked her to give it a chance. We hadn't really had any talks before about our relationship fizzling, and I felt we should have at least tried to get it back on track. I told her to come home right away, because we just had a talk about how she was treating me more like a babysitter than a BF, and I had a strong suspicion she was meeting another man. I didn't feel in control at the time. At the time I thought I was fighting to save my relationship with not only her, but her son. Looking back, I lean towards what you are saying. She had her mind made up that nothing was ever going to get better. I've never asked myself why I overlooked all the red flags. I am going to seriously think about that. What made me not care about things I would have told a buddy to watch out for?